Berliners have lots of green spaces to choose from, but this isn't just any park. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, this broad section of no man's land was turned into a recreational area, the Mauerpark. That takes us to this week's topic and to the starting point of my tour. I'll be following the Berlin Wall Trail, right through the heart of the city. Today I ride along the former border between East and West Berlin. On this bike, following the line of the Berlin Wall. I would like to see what remains of the history of the division of Europe, Germany and Berlin. So I'm starting here in Mauerpark, going to the Brandenburg Gate and then all the way to the East Side Gallery. Let's go. My first stop on the Berlin Wall Trail is the memorial site on Bernauer Straße. It's the first stop for anybody wanting to learn more about the city's division. Rust-colored poles and sections of the wall mark the location of the former border. Here, a section of the wall has been reconstructed as it was during the division. The viewing platform provides the best view of the border fortification's true dimensions. This is how they appeared up to 1989. The main and inner walls with the death strip in between. Last year, over 1 million people visited the Berlin Wall Memorial on Bernauer Straße. It includes this documentation center. Historian Hanna Berger showed me around the permanent exhibition.
We display historical objects here that are important because they allow for an immediate experience, especially for visitors who don't know much about it, who don't know the details about the Berlin Wall. Here we see pieces of homemade diving equipment that Hubert Holbein used for his escape in 1963.
1963 benutzt hat.
Why did the Berlin Wall even exist? Why did they put up a wall through a city?
That's a very complicated question, but if you want the short answer, I'd have to say that it became clear after the founding of East and West Germany in 1949 that two different political systems would become established, and then they'd have a situation of mass exodus. There were many people who wanted to escape East Germany in the 1950s, and it culminated in the building of the wall. It was a consequence of this exodus.
How did the wall stand for so long?
Because it was a manifestation of an entire system. East Germany was integrated into the system of Eastern Bloc states, and so it was dependent on developments there. Not until the 1980s was the development such that a little bit of opening was possible. But of course, it was the East German citizens who took the decisive steps towards toppling the wall here.
How do you teach such a complex subject to someone who has no connection with Berlin, who perhaps comes from South America or Asia and then learns about the wall here?
For one, we do it through the historical site. We talk very specifically about what happened on Bernauer Straße, so it's very clear that the Berlin Wall split the street into two parts. So one side of the street belonged to East Berlin and the other side to West Berlin. Everything that made up the Cold War in general was condensed here.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and thank you.
I press on toward the city center, following the river Spree. Here, behind what's now the government quarter, the river marked the border between East and West until 1989. But it was guarded just as closely as elsewhere, as these white crosses on the banks testify. Many escape attempts here ended in death. The Brandenburg Gate stands as a symbol of Germany's reunification. Until the fall of the wall, it symbolized the very opposite. It was a part of the death strip right by the Berlin Wall.
Do you know what this gate represents?
No, not really.
Okay. And do you know where the Berlin Wall was?
Almost here. That's my guess. It was here, around here.
Do you know where the wall ran?
Back there, behind the gate, there's a line on the ground. I've been there, I like it.
Where are we now, in East or West Berlin?
Here? In the west? In the east. Yes, the east.
Do you know what the Brandenburg Gate stands for?
No, I just got here. This is my first time here.
I actually do not know.
It's a symbol of Germany's reunification.
Exactly.
Oh, very good.
One of the obligatory sites in Berlin connected with its division and the fall of the wall is, obviously, Checkpoint Charlie. It can hardly be missed with all the tourists and hubbub around it. These large format photos summarize the most important points about the former border crossing where East and West faced off toe-to-toe under high tension. I continue on our quest for traces of Germany's division along the Berlin Wall. Its fall in 1989 was the first big step toward reunification. An impressive relic is the longest section of the Berlin Wall still standing, the East Side Gallery. A few weeks after the fall of the wall, 118 artists from 21 countries gathered to paint this section. The pictures are expressions of a new era dawning and hint at the emotions, fears and hopes it inspired. The wall left many visible traces in Berlin, and not just in the central tourist spots. There are lesser-known places that have come back into their own. One such oasis is Kreuzberg's Engelbecken. Until November 1989, it was part of the death strip. The water was gone, the basin filled in with rubble and topped with border fortifications. After the fall of the wall, the urban green space around the Engelbecken was restored. It's a good place to end my journey along the Berlin Wall Trail.
I've seen a lot and I have learned a lot. And I think it's quite good to focus on one topic, discovering Berlin by following the path of the Berlin Wall. That takes you right through the heart of the capital. You have the chance to catch some sightseeing highlights, and at the same time you can learn a lot about the city's history. What do you want more? Bye bye, see you next time here on Check-In.